Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today we are going to be getting ready for nothing because we're not going anywhere. I wanted to do like a green Christmassy look with a red lip, and I'm gonna be using these two Morphe and Jaclyn Hill palettes. I'm using the Dark Magic palette and the Armed and Gorgeous. They're not my favorite eyeshadows, but they have the colors that I'm wanting to use. So I'm gonna use these, and let's just cross our fingers and hope that everything works and blends out smoothly, because you know, sometimes these eyeshadows just don't want to cooperate. So I want to make sure that I am able to clean up any fallout or any mistakes that I make before I apply my foundation. So to start off, because I want that nice crisp line at the edge, I'm going to use the e.l.f. Line and Define eye tapes, and I just take one of them and cut it in half and use that for both eyes. I already went ahead and did my eyebrows, as you can tell. I think I'm gonna film an eyebrow routine next. Let me know if you want to see that. I don't know if I should do it as a whole video or if I should just do it on my Instagram, which if you're not following me, I'm going to leave it linked down below. So if you want to follow, you know where to find me. So I think that's pretty good there. We're gonna start with the Dark Magic palette. And I'm gonna go in first with this shade right here called Shh. Take this Colourpop blending brush and dip it right into that shade. I primed my lids with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo concealer because that's what I use to clean the brows. So let's hope that that works as our primer as well. And this is gonna go in the upper crease area. So I'm gonna take it into the crease, but also blending it up towards the brow. There is a little bit of fallout down here. I don't know if you can tell, but I'll be able to clean that up with the makeup remover wipe afterwards. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to do my eyes first. I'm gonna take Inside Job, which is really pretty dark green in the palette. This is the Morphe M519, and I'm gonna take the shade Inside Job on that brush, tap off the excess, and then just take that in the outer V area and that outer crease as well. So I'm just patting that where I want it first, just to make sure that the intensity is where I want it. And then I'll take, with very, 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 very light pressure, take that same brush and just kind of buff it in that crease. But I'm honestly barely even applying any pressure. I just really just want to diffuse that line just a tiny bit, but I don't want to blow it out so much. That's why I got like a not so fluffy blending brush. I'm gonna take the more shimmery green tone, this one called Trickery, and that one is going to go on the middle part of the lid. And the reason why I'm gonna use that is because I'm gonna go in with a shimmery gold in the inner corner. So that's just kind of gonna bring everything together and make sure that everything blends well. I'm gonna use an Alamar brush. I think this is just like their flat concealer brush. I got this in a BOXY charm a few months ago. Right in the center, and that's just gonna help that gold and that matte green eyeshadow blend together. That's just going to take it up into the crease as high as I took that first shade, or that green shade that we used and then I'll go back in and just blend everything together. For the inner corner, I'm gonna go with the Armed and Gorgeous palette, and I'm gonna be using the shade Coin, which is this really pretty intense like metallic gold shade. But before I put that on, I'm gonna apply this liquid eyeshadow by Appeal Cosmetics. I don't even know what shade this is. Oh, gold. Hello. Just gonna use this kind of as a base for the gold eyeshadow, but I'm gonna take just a tiny bit of this because I think the last time I used it, it was pretty intense. Yeah, so we're just gonna go in and apply it to our inner part of the lid, and I'm just gonna do that overall shape meeting that green shade. I think I'm gonna overlap it just a tiny bit, that way whenever I go in with the gold shade, they blend a lot better. Oh yeah, it's almost like glitter. So pretty. I'm going to go back in with the green shimmery shade, that Trickery shade, and just overlap that over the gold just because I want everything to look really, really blended. So I'm just gonna kind of go back and forth with the gold and the green just to make sure that they blend into each other really well. I love that gold on top of this base. It just made it pop and stick and look way more metallic than it usually does. So I'm happy that I use this. I'm gonna take that blending brush that I used with the shade Inside Job. I'm not using any additional product, just whatever's left on the brush. And going to, again, lightly, very, very lightly, with almost no pressure, just go right over that. And stopping at the point where the gold and the green meet. I'm really just doing this to get rid of any harsh line of the green. I wanna leave the harshness of the gold because it's kind of like a cut crease situation. And remove the tape. I want to make sure that the lines are even and they actually look really, really even, and I even like the placement of them. So I'm gonna leave it just as it is. The only thing that I'm gonna clean up is like the fallout that I have here. Now, before we finish the eyes, I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the face. I'm gonna be using the Tatcha, the Liquid Silk Canvas Primer. I'm not really sure yet if I like this one or the balmy one. Honestly, they almost feel the same. This one just isn't as thick because it's a liquid. Right, and then for foundation, I'm gonna be mixing two foundations. I mixed these the other day and I really like the finish. One of them is too dark. The Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define one is too dark. And I feel like this one is a little bit too yellow, but this one is more like warm. So I mixed them together and I feel like the shade is really good. And also it's like super, super matte. So if you're not into like the matte finish, then you're probably not really gonna like this. For concealer, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer, and I'm gonna be mixing two shades of this as well. I mix the shade Light Beige and Medium Sand. And what I do is I apply a little bit of the Light Beige underneath the eye, just like this, barely tapping it. This stuff is like really, really full coverage, and a little goes a long way. So I don't need a ton of it. So I just apply that in the inner and the outer corners a little bit on the forehead, down the bridge of my nose, and pretty much just there. The only reason why I don't do it like further down is because most of the time I am wearing a mask, so I just don't. And I'll take whatever excess is still on the sponge and then just bring that around towards the rest of my face. So right there where I applied it, I feel is like enough for what I need it for. And I was gonna cream contour, but I don't think I'm gonna do that today. So anything that's left on the sponge from this side, I will just bring it down to around my mouth and my chin, just to brighten that area up as well. I don't want a super bright under eye. I just want a little bit of coverage since I didn't go up with my foundation all the way, and a little bit of brightness, but nothing too intense. And then we'll go ahead and blend out the nose and the forehead. Now to set that, I'm gonna use the NYX finishing powder, the HD finishing powder in the shade Banana. I'm gonna do my forehead first because my forehead creases so fast. I need to go get like Botox or something. And then just a little bit around the mouth, the chin, and the nose, because I'm gonna go in with a different powder to set the rest of my face. So this is just setting like where I applied the concealer. For the rest of my face, I'm gonna use the e.l.f. Halo Glow setting powder, and this one is in the shade Medium. And I use a tiny bit of this. I just kind of like that. That's about all that I use, and even that is probably too much. I'll take that on a big fluffy brush, and I'm gonna use the Equate powder brush. This is a Walmart brush, one of my favorite brushes for like setting the face. What I'll do is I'll take the brush and then just pat it in there, roll it in there, swipe it in there, and really work that powder into the brush. I just start setting the face and I apply really light pressure, just kind of like patting everywhere. All I do is pat into the skin or on the foundation, and that's all I do. And it just looks so pretty. I feel like it makes everything look flawless and smooth. I'm gonna apply my lashes, and I think I'm gonna use these. I'm not really sure what style they are. If I can find the box that these came out of, I will link them in the description box. I think they are Miss lashes from like the local beauty store. I can't remember the style though. I'll have to look it up. I have a couple of boxes over here that I've taken lashes out of, and I'm so bad about putting them back in the box that I took them out of, so I don't ever know what is what. While the lash glue dries, I'm gonna go ahead and finish my lower lash line. I'm gonna use the Appeal gel pencil liner in the shade Forest Green, which I feel is gonna be perfect for the green that we have in our eyeshadow. It almost matches perfectly. I'm gonna put that in the waterline, but I'm gonna smudge it on the lower lash line as well, since I'm gonna go in with some eyeshadow down there. So now I'm gonna take the Dark Magic palette again, and I'm just gonna use Inside Job to buff that out. So our lashes are on. I'm gonna take some mascara on the lower lash line. I'm a little heavy with the lower lash mascara just because the top lashes are pretty dramatic and full, so I wanted to kind of balance that out. For the inner corner, I'm gonna take a highlight out of the BH Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette. Why can't I say that? The shade Moonscape right here in this corner. It's kind of like a yellowy gold. And I'm just gonna pop that right in the inner corner, and then I'm gonna use this as my face highlight as well because it is such a pretty highlight. So I'm just gonna do that for now, and then I'll go back in and do my face after I've contoured and bronzed and all that. So to contour, I'm gonna take the Milani Silky Matte Bronzer in the shade Suntan. And then for bronzer, surprise, surprise, I'm gonna take the Anastasia Saddle Bronzer with this blush brush by Real Techniques. Gonna bronze the skin. I think I'm just gonna keep it to bronzer since we're going with a red lip and we have a super smoky, dramatic, bold eye. I think I'm just gonna use my bronzer as blush today, just so we don't have too much going on the face. Just take that all the way across the hairline and temples. Now we can go in and highlight the rest of our face, and taking the Beige Cosmetics Desert Oasis palette again, and this tiny Morphe JH39 brush with the same shade Moonscape. I'm gonna take a tiny bit of that on the tip of the nose. So cute right here in between the brows. And then with my Real Techniques 402 brush, I'm going to just kind of blend that out a little bit. And then I'm going to take that same shade right on the cheekbones. It is so pretty. I don't know if they still have this palette at Ulta, but if they do, pick it up. It's gorgeous and has stunning like shimmer shades and highlights in it. It's beautiful. For setting spray, I'm gonna use the Milk Hydro Grip Set and Refresh Spray. I just got this the other day and I'm obsessed with it already. I really, really like it. It's a really good setting spray, probably one of my favorites. And it feels so good and the mist is so fine. It's just a really, really good setting spray. It's a little pricey, but I think it's well worth it. Now we're gonna go in with our lip color, and I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Gel Lip Liner in the shade Red The Scene. This is the TrèStique Tuscan Wine Mini Matte Lip Crayon. I think I got these in a BOXY charm a couple months ago. These are also really creamy and they do go on really smooth and matte, as you can see, but they are not like mask friendly or kiss proof because they don't set or dry on the lips. But yeah, I think we are done with the look for today, you guys. I really, really love this eye makeup. I think it came out so pretty. This is probably going to be my Christmas Eve look. This is it for the video, you guys. I really hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you for spending a little bit of your day with me. If you did enjoy the video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Also turn on your notifications so that you're notified when I upload another video. Again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.